Hello and a warm welcome back to another Easter episode of the WenDirk Podcast, your podcast about all things concerning the Metaverse Football League. As always, each week we host Jimbo and Calvinator, and together we're going to discuss the latest MFL updates, transfers, developments, and so much more. One little point before we get started: none of what we chat about on here is financial advice. Do your own scouting, or hire a director of Metaverse Football. Calvinator, my man, happy Easter. Had a good one?
Happy Easter, yes, definitely. A lot of food, a lot of eggs. It was great, and I think today we're going to find some Easter eggs together.
Yes.
Some questions.
Quick question then.
Yes.
Any chocolate eggs? What sort of chocolate did you have?
Actually, no chocolate at all. Oh, it's only
Vegetable eggs. Vegetable eggs?
No, but some cake, though. Although it's no
Ooh,
chocolate
okay.
in the cake. And not that many veggies.
Ooh.
So, a lot of eggs and a lot of mayonnaise and stuff. That's like Polish Polish Easter with the in-laws for me. So
Very nice.
Little
Very
insight
nice.
here, yeah, what it was like. But
Very nice.
we both, I think, had enough food today to record, to have enough energy for a proper episode.
Yes.
So, I can share the plan. So before this episode, I think many of you have seen on Twitter that we had a little giveaway, an Easter giveaway. And the requirements to participate were to, of course, like and retweet, but also to ask us a question. So we have loads of questions. So let's say each question is a little Easter egg. We'll spin the wheel and we're going to find it and answer that question. We have 17 questions, so I think all of them we can answer, right? Should be okay.
Yep. Yeah, 70 questions is a good amount. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end, so if you're one of those, we will give away the players. So stay tuned to hear if you are the winner of one of those players we announced. You have a nice uncommon, right? 65.
Yeah, an uncommon 65. I had a high common player, but he was contracted out, and it makes a lot of sense. Hopefully we can get this player out to someone before the season starts, or not, before transfer window ends. And then I thought, you know what, I'll just buy an uncommon from the market. So I just bought one of the cheapest non-goalkeeper uncommons there was, and I thought, you know what, greens are just a nicer colour than the grey, isn't it?
Yeah. So doing your part. I have
Exactly.
a 64 uncommon defender. But actually, well, that's a bit for later. Like, the whole common market is also really getting very active.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
And almost, I think all my high comments are signed already. Up to
Nice.
61s. All my 62, 63, 64s are signed. So things are heating up, but we'll talk about that in the marketplace update. Before that, let's talk about the usual updates, the personal journey. So how have your two teams been doing in the preseason tournaments?
They both topped their groups, and currently as we speak, my Stone team, Atletico Esparteos, are in their knockout game against Capybaras, which is Blood Royale's team, and we're currently winning 5-0 in the first half.
5-0 in the first half?
6-0 in the first half now. 6-0 in the first half.
How is that possible?
I was looking at his squad, and I think he's kind of slightly mudded himself for the tournaments because he's got a nice squad, but his two best players are both goalkeepers. So I guess when they take your average of the top 11 or 18, is it? Yeah. If both your goalkeepers are your highest tier rated players, and really with no fatigue, you can only play one of them, it might put you in a slightly awkward position. I think the other best players are all left backs, so you can only play one of them at a time. But yeah, we're currently 6-0 up.
But he did make it out of the group, so he did.
Oh, sorry to flex on you there, mate.
Yeah.
So we've got this 6-0 game, which surely should be me in the next round for my second team. And then the Wyverns play later on this evening. Well, the result will already be done by the time you listen to this. 7-0 now, by the way. I'm playing Bosco's. I think I'm playing his youth development team, which will be interesting. It's the first time that Bosco and I have ever encountered each other in a competitive game. So it will be spicy. The battle of the captains. I think I'm liking my chances. But yeah, so that's me. 7-0 up in 73 minutes, and my next team is also knockout stages, so I can't really complain for my pre-season tournament so far.
Nice one. Yeah, also
How about
about
yourself,
those, first a bit about those goals, right? So I think a lot of feedback has been
It's
that
8-0 now, by the way.
8-0. It seems like you're playing a fatigued side almost. But
No, it does seem like it. And the lowest rating, 4.7. There we go.
Wow.
We'll get onto that later. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I want to say that like what we've noticed is loads of goals. Maybe goalies need to save a bit more. And I saw already, I think Matt and Jux talking like, yeah, we probably need to fix that a little bit, right? There's too many goals, not enough saves. Feels a bit like tennis scores sometimes, like 6-3, 6-4. Or
Yeah.
8-9-0, like
Well,
9 already. No.
It's now 8-2.
What?
It's now 8-2. They had a penalty and then, or they scored, then had a penalty. And there's 5 minutes extra time. So, we've got a 10-goal game in a quarterfinal, which seems pretty nuts. There you go. 8-2 it finished, 8-2.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is something the team is looking at. But anyway, about my 6 teams. Well, I have 7 teams right now, but 6 are in the tournament and 3 qualified for the next round. So that's
Nice.
decent, I think. But I'm the happiest that my top tier team, the best team, the flagship, Casablanca Corsairs, they topped their group and they won all 4 games. So compared to the very kind of disappointing season in 0.4, this is very nice that they are so far winning all their games and scoring on average like 4 or 5 goals per game or something.
Yeah, that's
so nice. That's really nice. And Bessa is scoring 2 goals per game so far on average. Ooh. So things are going well for my best team, and I'm very happy with that. So let's see in the quarterfinals what they will do. They can play against the Bosco proper athletic, not the youth team, in the semis. So maybe I'm also Bosco if you're listening.
I'm fearing the Ukrainians. Bosco's he has like 34% of the Ukrainian players in MFL. I know I can just see it now. The Wyverns lose. A Ukrainian striker gets 4 goals. I'm just going to get ripped into in the Discord. I can just see it happening.
Yes, very possible. But so far, you already have 1 team in the semis, right? That must have been now,
quite 8-2. Yeah, I'm not complaining about that.
Okay, done deal. Great. So pre-season tourney, we have some quarterfinals. Let's see next week how we did. If one of us have a cup. Well, a victory, not a cup, right?
So. Block Royale's just messaged me. He just messaged in the chat, in the Discord chat, and put GG's. I have no words. And then he's put like the one of the meme faces. Bless him. I feel so sorry for him.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. 8-2.
Yeah, sorry. I'll let you carry on with dev updates.
Yes, that's what I want to say. So next week we'll see if one of us won the preseason tourney. Like not a real trophy, but you still have you won a tournament and some points. But let's see next week. And now let's talk about the dev updates. So one of the big topics that the team is working on is player progression. So Quentin has conducted numerous simulations, and our next step from the team is to analyze the outcomes to determine if they meet their expectations. So the team is really testing this player progression, and they want to do it very carefully, of course, because this is really a big issue. It needs to be done well. So luckily the team is testing this extensively, I should say. Second thing, the drops page has disappeared and has been replaced with a store page. So in the future, you'll be able to spend your MFL points here. Another big issue, what can we do with the points? So in the future, you can spend them in the store. Another issue is smart contracts. Maybe a bit too technical, but the team has been working to make their contracts compliant with the new programming language of Flow, this Cadence. So also work on that. Then enhanced competitions, back office. So Lucas and Matt, who are not really developers, they can now also perform tasks. So it's a bit easier for the team to handle things in the back office. And finally, various UI improvements and bug fixes, such as adding sorting functionality to the contract offers table, enhanced display for mobile devices, and improving how pages or data are being refreshed is a bit smoother. So big topics, I think, player progression and the store. What do you think, Jimbo, of those updates? What are you excited about?
Yeah, I think I think you saw this one a couple of weeks ago as well, didn't we? We spoke about it then, the player progression, how excited we are for that. I think just small things like the store being added, even it just sort of that question about what can we spend MFL points on, that get answered straight away, because we had the set pieces, for example, and we had the page on there. We knew it was coming, but just to have exposure to it and know it's coming is really nice. And then also the various UI improvements, they're always really nice to just get thrown in there with different bits and pieces.
Yeah, that's what they also said in dev updates. It's really good for new users that they see the whole picture. So they say, okay, if I loan out guys, I can get some MFL points, and then those MFL points I can use in the store. So it's nice, it's there, and although it sits on a construction, you know what it's gonna be. So
yeah,
that's great. And play progression, a lot of people are also talking about new users, like, can my players get better? We saw a lot of 16, 17, 18 years olds getting or bought this week, right? So yeah, it's people are really thinking about it and thinking ahead, both with points and both with player progression. So makes sense to work on that. Okay, season update. So last week we couldn't really talk about anything, but this week we can talk about the top tier of Metaverse football. So the best teams, the best 20 teams in game are currently playing in tier 1 of the preseason tournament. And I have all the 4 groups in front of me. The group stage is finished. And in some interesting conclusions is, I think, that not a lot of Diamond League teams topped
I was
their
just
group.
looking at it. Yeah, you look at the tier 1 and you look at the groups and you go, actually, none of the teams that finished top, maybe if there's a couple joint top, right?
Yes.
But none of the ones that finished first in the position of the groups, none of them are Diamond League, which is really nice to see. Sorry to those Diamond clubs, but it's nice to see that it's not completely dominated by Diamond clubs. I'm not sure if it was last year. It's just nice to see a bit more of an equal playing field. Maybe that's some of the engine stuff kicking in, having a different effect on games.
It could be both, but it's nice indeed to see that maybe when we get promotion relegation, that there's a lot of teams at Platinum that are very competitive, also in Diamond probably.
Yeah.
So how they're doing. Yeah, even if you look at the teams that made it out, I only see, from Diamond League teams, Meta is second in Group 1, Meta Mercenaries, they are through. Porque Ibirapuera is second in Group 3, they made it out. And I think that's it. The rest 6 teams.
Ballers managed to get out as well.
Oh, but did they rename to BFC Barcelona?
Yeah, they renamed it because, I can quickly mention about this. I did a vote on it because previously it was just Ballers FC, but all of the Ballers teams under the DAO all have like BFC and then the location. So they wanted to sync up and have all the same sort of standardization of naming. So they voted and agreed to change it to BFC Barcelona.
Okay, so
and they have a new logo, so it all fits the same.
That's nice. So some uniformity.
It takes a bit of a while to get used to, right? Because you just think Ballers FC, but you see the logo and you know what it means.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. So everyone now knows Ballers FC is rebranded to BFC Barcelona. Okay, so then 3 teams. So BFC, so Barcelona, Parque Ibirapuera, Meta Mercenaries. They made it out of the group. And the rest of the Diamond teams is,
I guess one thing to note quickly from it is that no one won all 4 games either.
Also,
which is no one stomped each group, which is a really good sign for, maybe potentially foreshadowing how competitive the league might be.
Yes.
Starting next week.
Yeah, indeed. So that's so some good things. It's also for the cup later will be fun to see that.
Yeah. An interesting season update. I'm now going to pass to you for the marketplace update, where you had a lot of names to say out last time. I think it was 22, maybe, was it last week? You've noted down all of the new or active managers again for this week. Have you taken a deep breath?
Yeah, no, I tried my best. Maybe there's even more, but I found 36 new users in the sales bot. So that's
I love that.
Amazing.
What a brilliant thing to say, eh? Love that.
Yeah, it's really crazy. We should maybe after I say all of those names, talk a little bit more about it. But okay, here we go. So shout out to all the new active managers that I found in the sales bots. So met the 28, Morganson, Callejeiro Viajero, Kizio, Coach Nasser, OXO manager, Patini, Tom Jumeau, Tout Polyvalent, Ajavlo, Nimac, Steph, Simply Alex, Freiser, Niako, Next to Sensei, Ed, Ultrasmons, Lesh, Lil Chacho, Lucas with 2 U's, Axis, JP7, Plessy, Muat Deep, Ander, Planigol, Logan, El Mateo, Tassep, Oli, Nico, Pazzo, Neves, Jean Trogu, Armgra, and Solesio. There we go. 36 new users.
Welcome, new users.
Welcome. Yeah. So we've seen a continuation of this massive growth.
Yeah.
So that's really great.
Just want to say here, like how bloody great that is to see all these new users. Like, welcome to all of you. It has been brilliant to see so many of you joining MFL, getting active in the Discord, within Twitter or X, within your sort of like small sub communities. I know the French have a group of a few of them that talk with each other. It's been super, super awesome to see it. And just from our point of view, where we've been in the project for a while, I'm loving seeing new people rock up day in, day out. You know, give it 6-7 months ago, you might only get a couple people in the welcome channel every day. Whereas now, I feel like it's getting bombarded. Every time I load up every half an hour, there's at least 3 or 4 people have joined. It's brilliant. And just to sort of add on that, I'm just looking at the Crypto Slam stats. The MFL pack, where obviously people can buy packs technically on secondary market, but for most part, it's the starter packs and the club packs. Over the last 7 days, there's been 95 buyers. Wow, not a bad stat, hey?
Really good. Yes.
That's not a bad stat. 95 individual buyers. So
that's all new people. All new people.
And I think we noticed a lot of the French users. And the last couple of days, I've really noticed a big push with the Spanish side to it, which I'm just so happy to see. All the new users we got, and I think you also pointed out on Discord yesterday that we've reached 600 plus for signups.
Yeah, so is
that a first as well? I believe.
I think it's a first. For a first time ever, we have more than 600, I think. Let me check quickly what's the...
I was going to say, you're checking now. You check now what the official number is for the amount of clubs signed up for...
So 643 at the time of recording, and we still have 13 hours left. So I guess for sure 650 we must be able to pass. 650 teams, that is. So yeah, that's really nice. So Stone, I think Stone is gonna have way more leagues. It's really gonna take shape, right? He said 95 packs. I don't know how many of those are club packs, but for sure I saw loads of new Stone clubs from those.
I think I also saw. I think it was in the captains chat, the little chat with all us captains. I think it was. I could be slightly wrong here, but I think they actually ran out of starter packs at one point, so they had to not re-mint because all the packs were there, but they had to add to that supply of starter packs for new users, because it said sold out for starter packs earlier on in the week, and then Taggart brought it up, and then Yaks put indeed added some more packs for sale. Should be better now. So they actually ran out of starter packs they'd originally allocated, which I guess that shows some of the growth and demand that we're seeing for the MFL right now, which is also great. Yeah,
no, that's really amazing. And also what you said about those communities, the Spanish community is also growing, and I saw a new YouTube channel called like MFL Español, or a new Twitter account. They already had MFL France, right? MFL, and now MFL Spain. So it's really branching out. Those communities and those chats are really active right now. So lovely stuff. Let's continue with some people who've been here longer. So let's continue with some other people who have been also very active this week. And some of them were also joined like 2-3 weeks ago and decided to even invest more or like do a little upgrade. So for example, Azulkas, he has now a bronze club. So like a bronze club upgrade, because he had so many great players now. And I guess he realized that they should play on a higher level. So he got a bronze club. So that's great, because in Stone League, I think there's loads of stacked teams now, because new people come in, they open a Stone pack, they stay in Stone, they keep buying a lot of great players. So I think Stone is going to be pretty tough because of that. But Azulcas decided to get a bronze club and play on a higher tier. So that's great. Beast Sellers also got a new bronze club, and I saw he also bought some players for that. K2K got a new silver club, and at Dark Side a new gold club, and Cool 0604 also a new gold club. So a lot of users who've been with us for a longer time also got new clubs. So that's
picking up a few
great.
upgrades. Yeah,
a few upgrades.
And we didn't really have any big trades this week, but one person I do want to shout out quickly is Guitarero. I saw that yesterday he put out a message saying to any new users, just send him a DM in Discord, which sounds a bit sus, but it's not, trust me. He said any new users joining MFL, send him a DM and he'll just transfer you 4 or 5 common players. So I think yesterday I saw 2 people who he transferred 5 common players and then 4 common players to each of them, and they're 60 to 63 rated. They're not some of these low down common rated players. So we didn't see any high profile players being traded, but I want to say that's a massive piece of sort of community welcoming and dedication and just all around great positivity from Guitarero there. So I'm going to shout that out.
Yeah, shout out to him for that. It's really nice. So also, if you're new and listening and you didn't talk to Guitarero yet, send him a DM and you could also get some common players.
Right, we're going to delay the audio for this bit, and Calvinator, clarify me if I'm wrong here, but during this week, you found out there's some website where you can use AI to create some audio, some 30-second music clips, basically. And he pinged me Saturday morning and said, Jimbo, I've made 2. I think we should play one of them before the Splash of the Week. It's not replacing Splash of the Week, but, because everyone loves my voice, not just me. So before we get into Splash of the Week, we're going to play Calvinator's 30... Well, it's not even 30. It's like 1 minute 40 or something, isn't it? We're going to play a bit of it.
Yeah.
This. It's called... And what have you called this one? Just so you can announce to the users.
Well, maybe I should first kind of explain what this is about. So
Go on.
Everyone knows, like, a lot of logos are created with AI, like the Microsoft or the Bing one, or like some AI generators, let's say, for images, right? ChatGPT, we also know for text. And now Suno AI is a new thing where you can create songs. Just a prompt, maybe you describe the style, you can even insert your own lyrics. And 30 seconds later, you have like a complete song. So I made one for Casablanca Corsairs. I saw some other clubs like Mufasa FC, and they also made some club songs with this. So it's a real fun tool to add a bit more flavor to your club and make your own song. So I thought also for the podcast or for the stream, we can maybe make some songs. So I asked this Suno AI to write a song in a more like an epic opera style about Splash of the Week. So we can listen to it a little bit. Yes.
We can listen to it now. We can play it now on the podcast. Calvinator named it the Sale of the Century. And for anyone who doesn't or can't understand the lyrics, what I will do is in the show notes, I will put the lyrics in there as well as the link to you to go listen to this. So you have to keep listening to the podcast, but you can listen to it by itself. So right, take a load of this. A sale was announced like none seen before. The WenDirk Podcast, the voice of the game, unveiled the deal that would etch its name. Pretty grand.
Build up.
As the news spread like fire across the night, the biggest trade in history, a game changer for sure. An epic moment in MFL lore. Splash of the Week, the echo resounds this roar throughout the grounds. The metaverse trembles in our feet. A sale of the century, thrilling and sweet.
Yes, there we go.
There we go. What about that, everyone? What about that? Let us know what your thoughts are on that. I actually, do you know what? For AI, for usually what you can get from some of these places doing audio. I think it's pretty good.
It's crazy. You can just make an opera now with AI by yourself at home.
Especially that sale of the week little clip.
Yes.
Or splash of the week clip. You know, I think maybe the songs are quite big, right, for the podcast and for the streams. But I think we can get some little clips in there, some little one or couple of liners. I think that's where it can be really, really, really powerful.
So my next project is that I want to create kind of a Champions League anthem, but then for MFL, like such a for the build up, right? We used Champions League before with the stream.
Yeah.
So maybe now I can work on MFL.
And that one's called Sale of the Century. So I think that one's really applicable to where we have like the biggest ever MFL sale. That's going to play next time there's like $3,000 has dropped. But anyway, the moment actually all been waiting for, Splash of the Week. Bosh. See that one
can't be replaced.
Was that AI or not, everyone? So Guerrero, mentioned him earlier, he is also Splash of the Week for this week, episode 31 of the WenDirk Cast. So he dropped $550 on a 86 rated striker, 91 shooting, pretty nice. He's from Serbia, so get ready for this butchering of his name. His name is the first name's already stumbled me. Like Sretan Tanasiewicz.
Yes, I would say Sreten Tanasiewicz.
You just like got the flow just a lot better than I can do it.
Something like that.
But he got a pretty nice striker for $550. I mean, 86 rated, 22 age. Shooting is basically that prolific stat. Shooting and dribbling is really high, 91, 86. But I think just a proper nice player, if I'm honest. Look forward to what he does in the league.
So, Jimbo, how's Dirk been after his holiday? His first 4 matches.
Well,
competitive.
He's doing pretty well, you know. And we'll also point out that turns out my insider information against your scouting came out trumps here. Because I think your scouting, and he said he wasn't going to play in a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
And I had the insider scoop with the gaffer, not fantasy gaffer, Ronan the gaffer. And he said 4-2-3-1 is going to be a strongest formation. And lo and behold, you know, when we look at these individual stats now, in 4 games, he's averaged 8.4 rating between those 4 games, which is actually nuts. And to break that down, 8.8 rated in his first game. Meta Mercenaries won out 5-1, and he got 3 assists. So 8.8, 8.5, 8, and 8.4 rating. Really high rating. And I also calculated he had an average XG in those games of 0.22 as well, which is pretty strong. Considering in one of them, he didn't actually have any XG at all. So I know that XG is a bit of a bogus stat right now, but I still think it's pretty impressive nonetheless. But with those individual stats, we can also dig into not just the rating, we can also dig into his attack, defense, passing. He's looked really solid so far in the preseason tournament. I can't deny. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the rating says it all. 8.4, right? So, and 4 assists in 4 games. He is, as a right mid in the 4-2-3-1, his role is mostly assisting. And that's what he's doing. And he got a goal also in the process. So, yeah, he's doing really well so far. Maybe that confidence that he's going to play no matter what in that 4-2-3-1. And
has he peaked too early, though? Has he peaked too early?
We'll never know. Let's see next week how he did at the let's say the quarterfinals, maybe in the final. We know he's a cup fighter, right? That's his reputation.
We know he's a good cup player. This could be him. But yeah, just before we move on to our Easter Q&A, I'm just going to announce that in 5 minutes I am playing Bosco Athletic MSC youth team. So if I start shouting during this next 15 minutes, it's either because I'm losing, winning, well, either the two. He has captained his Ukrainian striker, so I could be in for a bit of a muddle here. But I'm still feeling confident. Bosco did also message me and says, what did he say? He said take it easy, because I think he saw the result in the Stone game. Not that has any influence on this result, but when he sees Jimbo's second team win 8-2, not good look. But just want to get that out of the way first before everyone starts wondering why I'm shouting and screaming in the next part of the podcast.
Good disclaimer. Yes.
Yes. So do you want to just quickly, I know we already announced what we're going to do, but do you want to just give a quick 10-second reminder?
Yeah, so very quick reminder. So we asked people on Twitter to ask us questions. Each question we've given a number, and like the Christmas advent calendar thingy, let's say, instead of opening those boxes, we're finding those Easter eggs. So each number from the lucky wheel, we will spin it. It will give a number. The number is a question, and we're gonna answer all of that. I think I didn't explain this the best way, but you'll see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we've basically allocated them a number. And
Yeah.
we're going to spin a wheel.
Yeah, so we're just gonna spin the wheel. There's a number, and we're gonna answer those questions. And at the end, we're gonna spin it again for the people to see who won the prize, the players. That's the plan.
Yeah, okay. That sounds good. Because for some reason, it won't let me do it. So, right, I'm going to just shuffle it a couple of times. Done. So I'm going to spin it now.
Yes.
Don't know what won't let me share my screen, but anyway. First number 3.
Number 3 is a question from Angelov. What do you recommend for new players who are joining these days? So, any advice for new people? What's your advice? What I would do as first is just read the whole white paper. I think the white paper is very well written in the right order, and you know the whole vision and what's the plan. And then, yeah, maybe check out some content. And I think just asking in the Discord is great. So I saw the in this past week, like the past weeks, for so many new users. There's someone coming in asking questions or asking who can I send a DM, and there's always someone of the captains or another user who'd like to have a quick chat 101 in the DMs. Just quick fire Q&A. I think that's a great thing to do. So maybe read the white paper, just do some Q&A with a member, and then I think you're already pretty much up to speed with the most important things, and then just play around. Yeah, buy a pack or see how it goes.
There's definitely loads of content out there, like you said, that you can basically clue yourself up on about MFL beforehand. And you've got the little tutorial guy now, which you can show you around.
Yeah.
So actually read that. Don't just click off the tutorials, which we all do in video games and stuff, right? Read it. It really helps you. So that'd be some of our best piece of advice. And like you said, ask questions, chat to all of us. We're here to sort of help and answer those and help all new people in the community.
Yes. Next one.
Spin again. Ooh. Number 10.
Number 10 is a question from Pozzuelo Sorer. What are the meta or key attributes for each position? Well, that could almost be in a whole episode, I think. To talk about that.
Striker for me is in this order would be shooting, pace, probably dribbling. Yeah, I've just equalised. Get in there, lad. I'd go shooting and pace are probably the first two, but equally shooting and dribbling, I think. I think you can pair shooting up with shooting and pace, shooting and dribbling, shooting and physical. I think you can pair any of those up, but I think shooting has to be the highest, if not one of the highest stats you go for in a striker, right?
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. So I think for a midfielder, the key would be the passing, the primary one, and for defenders, the defending. And then with a defender, you want to have good defending plus, I think, good physical for me. Midfielder, you want good passing with probably, for me personally, maybe defending. Maybe defending, dribbling, depends a bit what kind of midfielder. And then, the striker should be shooting plus, for me, I think, pace or dribbling indeed. So I think that's a way to approach it.
Yeah, I don't think at the moment there's any sort of like meta. It's hard to say if there's any meta attributes within the engine because how regularly the engine changes. So what could be a meta this season isn't a meta next season. Oh my God, Wyverns have just won it in the 90 plus first minute. 90 plus first corner. Bosco went down to 10 men. I'm just waiting for him to ping me a message now. There we go, guys. Live in the episode, both of Jimbo's teams have made it to knockout stages. Get in there.
And on that same page, I just won 5-0 against Duff.
Did you?
Yes.
I tell you, mate. Against Duff, he's going to be seething. At least he had some good Brussels sprouts, so it looked on his Discord. He sent some good Brussels sprouts.
So we are on fire, let's say.
We're on fire.
We're on fire.
But yeah, I think the key attributes all depends on how you want to set up your teams. Like some people will want a good shooting and good passing, but for me, I'm not 100% miffed about. I'm not 100% bothered about shooting for a cam if he's like one of 4 forward players or one of 4 attacking players. If I've got 2 strikers, I don't really care if my cam hasn't not got that great shooting. I'd rather him have really high passing and really high dribbling. It's all personal preference. He's just put GG, bless him.
Yeah.
He's going to be seething when he listens back to this on his way back from Dublin.
But yeah, anyway, I think this deserves almost like a proper episode. So let's...
I think you could almost flesh out breaking down key attributes, what you look for in players as a full episode. So Pozzuolo, also love that name as well, Pozzuolo.
Yes.
So he's a good football player. He's played for Toronto, called Pozzuolo.
So let's move on because we have many questions. So if we want to answer all,
sorry.
I think
we need to fire through these.
That's always my role. Yeah. I'm my role to speed things up.
Timekeeping.
Yes.
It's spinning. Number 9.
Number 9 is from Fryman. What in real life football club would look the best with a floaty endorsement on their kit? Interesting question. So which club should floaty sponsor?
Ooh, I'm just looking at the floaty logo again now. It's sort of that F with a full stop and it's sort of a whitish colouring. So maybe a team that plays in quite a dark colour because the white will, the contrast will stand out quite a bit. Ooh, I think a Portland Timbers. I'm gonna make this applicable and relevant to the American folk who listen and play MFL. I think Portland Timbers, that really nice green colour, I think would stand out really nicely with the floaty. But we've got thousands of football clubs we can pick from here. Thousands. Yeah. I'm hoping you're going to go down a different part of the world here.
I have a very serious proposition that they should actually consider. Or maybe flow or floaty. Maybe even flow more. So Forest Green Rovers. Right, they play in League One.
Okay, Forest Green Rovers, yeah.
Well, I'm a vegetable, right? So I like also environment-friendly teams, and they have this whole green philosophy. And Flow is also carbon neutral. It's a very sustainable blockchain. Flow, it's very good for the environment. So and Forest Green Rovers, of course, play also in green. So with Floaty, I think this might be a nice partnership, and maybe on a higher level, like Werder Bremen or something.
I think we're going down this green sort of colouring, aren't we? I think the green.
Yeah, or Betis, maybe Betis Sevilla.
Yeah, Betis. Yeah, Wolfsburg, a couple of them. Yeah,
I think a green team because of the profile, but maybe Forest Green Rovers because it's also a smaller club, so it's not too expensive.
We are getting number 7. What's number 7, my man?
7 is from Duff, who just got beaten 5-0. It says, what features do you think we need, so emphasis on need, to have in place and tested before the fabled season 1.0 starts? And what's nice to have? So what do we need and what's nice to have? I think we talked about it a couple of times. So what would you say? What do we need and what is nice to have? Which features?
I think the 2 we need... Well, first of all, promotion relegation, I think, before the fabled, as he's called it, season 1
for sure
starts. Progression. I think progression obviously is in there. It's the next thing they're developing at the moment, so we're probably going to see that a little bit before to get a taster of it. I'm just trying to think if I need...
I think you said it right. What we need... those two things.
I think to need it is those 2, right?
Yes.
Things like training come into it. Training's an awkward one because I feel like you could argue that we might need it to help with progression, and it could already be playing part of progression. But is it too complicated? I don't know technical side. Obviously, I'm not a whiz like Yaks and the MFL team are, but it sounds like it's maybe a bit too much to try and fit into season 1 to start with without pushing back that season 1 start date, if you see where I'm coming from there. But I think the 2 obvious ones are promotion, relegation and progression.
Yeah, and the shop, of course, that you're able to, if people retire, if people progress and then retire, that you can replace them by buying people packs or players from the store. So I think you need to have promotion, relegation, player progression, and store the MFL points to spend them. And then you have kind of this sustainable system. And all the other things are nice to have.
So I think the training would be a nice to have for season 1, but you'd eventually want it, and you'd eventually want it to be a need. You'd eventually need it. things like, I mean, we could go down the whole route of stats here, right? And we could say heat maps, we could say different metrics, all this, that, the other. They're probably nice to haves. Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're pretty content on promotion, relegation, progression. But there are so many features that we could include, I feel, that we're probably missing some. But they're the two key ones we'll say.
Yes. Next one.
Yeah, I'm already spinning. Okay, good. I'm already spinning. Number... Oh, what is that? It's number 8. Number 8.
8 is from MFC Judge, and he asked...
The real judge.
Yeah, that was funny in the chat, right? Well, he's a prosecutor, he said. So he's not a judge.
He listened. He watched one of his games, and they won, didn't he? And he sent a picture of himself in the courtroom, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, that was great. So he asked if you could implement one feature outside of promotion, relegation, and progression, what would it be and why? So it's a nice follow-up. So apart from the promotion, relegation, progression, what would it be? Which feature right now to implement? So he said training then, so maybe training, would you say? Or...
One feature right now, well, I didn't say right now, but if we could implement one feature, what would it be and why? I would really love to see the expansion of player attributes. We're a long way away from that, but your pace suddenly becomes acceleration and sprint speed. Or no, acceleration and... Oh, what's the other one? Yeah, sprint speed probably. Or your physical then becomes, I don't know, strength and whatever. And shooting becomes long shots, shot power, curve, that sort of thing. I would love to see that because that brings a whole different dynamic into meta and all that sort of stuff. Actually, no, I'm going to cancel that completely. I'd love to see you do your own formations.
Yeah,
drag and drop wherever you want to go. I'd love to see that.
Nice. That would be great. Okay, I'm just going to say a little out of the box, or not so out of the box, but how cool would it be to have nations in MFL, like a nation NFT, and that your player could be called up for like the tournament. Let's say now is Euro 24 and there's like an MFL Euro Cup, and then your player gets called up for the Portugal, like Bessa gets called up for the Portugal team. That would be so fun, cool. And then you can see your player and then those NFTs you can also sell and buy, and then you're the national coach and you can sign those. That would be really cool, I think.
Just a quick thought on that, because the whole part about who becomes the manager and everything like that could be, quite a tricky challenge to overcome. Would you be completely against, just had a thought in my head now, is that those countries aren't controlled by anyone, it's automatically done by MFL, and it picks like the best players from like a selection of like diamond, platinum, but it takes them equally from the pool, but it takes the best 4 players from diamond, best 4 players from plat automatically. Would you be opposed to that, or would you want to give someone the actual control of?
Yeah, well, I think what's most feasible one is just to have a country NFT and someone owns it, and then that makes you the coach, right? So I think, and then you can pick, and you can lobby, and say, oh, can you please call up my player? But he wants to also do well, right?
We're bringing in politics. We're bringing in a bit of FIFA. Go to hotel rooms, slide them a little envelope of 10,000 MFL points. Play my player, please. That sort of thing. I think there's a lot to...
Yeah, for more episodes, let's say.
while I'm spinning the wheel, then, do you think those country NFTs would be worth more than diamond clubs?
Depends on the points you can win in those tournaments. In those international cups.
What if someone gets England or Spain or Brazil? That's a massive.
It's definitely very prestigious, yeah. So it could be.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But how cool would that be? Right, we can dream about that. We can talk about that again.
Yes.
Number 6, please. Number
6 is from @Flunkin Around.
These aren't really shuffling very well. I have to shuffle these again.
And he says, "What's your favorite underrated football book or movie?"
Football movie.
Or book.
Or book, yeah. But yeah. I only read digital words. I have. I was going to say I've read Alex Ferguson's autobiography, but that was which was interesting. But what is it called? I think I'm gonna have to Google this quick and get my answer. So the one I was going to say is just Goal. Is about a lad who basically is a Mexican guy who comes over. Santiago Munez. You may have heard of that name before, and he basically goes ahead and plays for Newcastle and becomes like a big thing. but it's a basic story of a young guy from Mexico. He comes, I think he's like an illegal immigrant or something. He comes across, plays football for Newcastle, and and it was crazy. And that came out in 2005, and that's like quite a well-known movie over here. That's why I don't want to call it underrated, because it's not underrated. But I think that's a brilliant movie. If you've not watched it, everyone, just call Goal ! Or Goal! The Dream Begins. Definitely worth a watch.
What would I say? Well, I must admit I'm not reading a lot of football books or movies, but there's one that's on my list. So there's one author called Simon Cooper, Kuper, and he writes a bit about football, but also with economics and kind of the story behind clubs and football and money. I think that's pretty fun to read about. So he has a book called Soccernomics. Sorry for the S word. And the Barcelona complex. So he's really kind of looking at Barcelona and how they deal with that money, and also that they feel like we should be the biggest club, but they're making all of those dumb decisions with money right now, like selling their stadium, and that's pretty interesting to look at that. Okay.
Number 4.
Number 4. Jeremy Gonzalez asked us, how do you plan to control the number of teams in the game?
I'm not sure I can 100% understand the question, to be fair. Are we talking about just in general, like what sort of requirements do we look at for expanding, or?
I guess it's about that. Yeah, it's about kind of expanding.
I think maybe some having metrics to demand or something to look at. Yeah, but you're right that there will be a point though when, they expanded Stone, and we did have all the club packs sold out then, didn't we? Which is an interesting one.
Yeah, before the iron, bronze were all sold out, and then we added Stone, and then maybe if Stone sells out, you can even add a wood or, I don't know, paper or sand or whatever, some kind of a next layer below it. Or even like kind of a mix between free-to-play, kind of a semi-professional, let's say, between free-to-play, and I think Matt also talked about that, or Jax, or some.
Yeah, I think maybe a free-to-play would be nice to roll out before some more clubs. But to be fair, the rate we've been growing at the moment, if these Stone clubs all get picked up and suddenly we're left before season 1 with all the packs being sold out, what do you do then, sort of thing? Do you give it a couple of months? Do you expand because if you expand it, you've got to double the amount from the bottom of Stone, haven't you?
Yes, but that's like a massive doubling.
Which is huge, right? That means we're bringing in an extra
1,400, 1,500?
Yeah, 1,400, because it was like 700, and we're now at 1,500 odd, aren't we? So 786 something. It was something crazy like that, yeah. That's a really good question, actually. I don't know how you would plan to control number of teams in the game.
Yeah, well, that's...
You have to look at a bit of economics.
Exactly. I think with the episode with Matt, he also talked about supply and demand, and that sometimes you should always have a big supply, because that also drives demand, right? So it goes both ways. Like if you have a lot of demand and no supply, that's also turns away people. But if you have too much supply, so it's a careful balance. But I think there should always be some clubs available for people to join. So maybe if Stone is like 80-90%, then that triggers another layer. But yeah, you need to carefully balance, but the team is on that, and Matt is definitely on top of his game there.
Number 14, please, sir.
Number 14, Cruyff's number. What was the secret project, David McConaughey?
What was the secret project? We don't even know.
No, it's still secret. It's never been revealed, so we also don't know.
I did see, he may have removed it now, but I did see that Jax liked that tweet. So I think maybe that's even more teasing. Jax did like that tweet, I think. So they're just playing with us, folks. We don't know. They're just playing with us.
It's still cooking in the background, so we don't know. That's the answer.
It's still cooking.
Yeah, it's still cooking.
Right, I'm respinning. Like 7 or something left. Number 15, please.
This is from Big T, and he asks just when.
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 Right now. Right now is when.
When.
Right now is when.
When. This is the moment.
Right now. Number 11, please.
Number 11 is from XX Achilles XX, and he asks, "What
What a name.
update are you most looking forward to?"
Promotion relegation. All day long.
We know that.
All day long. Promotion relegation. I just can't wait for it. I can't wait for it.
So,
it's my favourite part of the season. Just the crunch time, the butt clenching, all of that. I love it. The sweats, the emotions, the highs, the lows of promotion relegation is unbeatable.
Yeah, of course, I also would say that, but let's pick another thing. So the other cliche kind of answer we would say is probably 2D, right? 2D visuals.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, we are really looking forward to that. But just promotion relegation. Okay, let me then say 2D. I think those two things will really change a lot the way we see the game and play the game and promote the game and make content.
The next one is, it's just spinning. Spin. Number 5.
Number 5 is from Taggart, and he asks, if you could add one UX feature on to the site, what would it be and why? Well, I think I know one, maybe.
Go on, you throw yours first.
In-game messaging, right? Because before we talked about not everyone... Yes. So...
In-game... Go on.
So maybe even
why?
in-game messaging can even be... So just with contracts or sending in your inbox, or maybe even when you're watching a game and then you can chat with each other below, kind of like sideline talk, and then you talk to each other.
I think maybe before that, there's preset messages you can send.
Or preset messages, yeah.
Because if I'm winning 8-0, I am laughing my head off in that chat. But if there's something just saying like goal, or good luck, or unlucky, or GG, like preset ones, I can back that first. Yeah. Let's try that out first, and then go to free text.
Okay,
free text could be slightly mental.
Yes.
It could be an absolute ball ache to manage. I was going to say a new graphic, but I'm not sure I can really count that. I was thinking of another one, but I'll also say I'd love to have a graphic that is your next match, not the schedule, like the actual next upcoming match.
Yeah,
that'd be cool to have. That would be cool. Other stats and stuff, but I think it's too much of a cop-out answer. Actually, I've thought of one. I only use it very rare. I use it very rarely. But when you go to the radar of a player's profile, you can compare the radars with each other.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know. I also do it sometimes.
You could only type in the player's ID. I really want to be able to type in the names of the player and try and filter them out. Just a quicker way. Because sometimes I have to grab the player's ID and then do that.
And that's to see the two ratings side by side with what is higher.
Seeing the ratings side by side would be cool. Yeah, let's go with that then. Yeah. Let's go with that. Seeing the ratings side by side, like an actual compared to not just the radar, but also the individual.
Yes.
The numbers would be cool. Yeah. There we go. I'm liking that one. We'll go with that one. Number 1.
So rare La Liga 2. What's the one formation that completely sucks for you? Mine has to be 4-3-3 defensive. So do you have one that you never do or sucks, or that's bad?
One that sucks for me, I'm not going to include ones I've not used because it's not fair. For me, I used to really like 4-1-2-1-2, and now I've not been very good with using it. I don't like it at all. Personal preference. I do like 4-3-3 defensive, though. I quite like that one at the moment.
I think for me, 3-4-3 or something. That is not...
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good one. That doesn't really work because you need your left mid and right mid also very high defense to kind of cover that. You pretty much need all high defense midfielders, I think. Yeah, no, I think that's ideal. That doesn't really work for me. So I think 3-4-3, I would say.
3-4-3, and I'm going 4-1-2-1-2. Yes. They're ones that suck for me at the moment. So we're on to our final 5, I believe. Final 5. Number 2. We've gone from 1 to now on number 2.
From Vogon, WenDirk Club.
I did see this one. It's actually kind of interesting. I think I need to remind King Dingaling to put in his TSM Tunis team. Can he put that it was a WenDirk giveaway?
The bio.
The WenDirk Club. Yeah. In the bio, sorry. Because that was the original WenDirk Club. We could do that. It'd probably be me that'd have to manage it because you've already got 7 clubs.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it comes. I think we could probably. I mean, I don't think we're against the idea. I think we just know it would be quite a bit of work with the amount of stuff we already do. And I think that point about bias is actually quite applicable because, just say if we said we'll give everyone 5% contracts, how do we dictate who we pick? Is it like first come, first served? There's a lot of things that can come into it because we just go out and get players sort of thing. But I don't think neither of us are against it. You never know. This time next week, we could have bought a club and we'll be running a WenDirk club.
Yeah.
But if people really want one, I think we could probably go out and get one. But I think, sorry to negatively answer your question, Vogon. No, or when WenDirk Cast Club, not in the imminent future.
Not now, no.
But depending on, how things go, we could, and if we sort out the logistics side of it, we could do.
Maybe.
We could do. Right.
Okay, we have
the final four.
Couple left.
Number 17, please.
17 was quite a long one from Federico. Are there plans to allow managers to train players to increase their stats, or let agents message other agents within the app? Oh, that's interesting that he asked about it.
So it's two questions, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think we talked about both things already.
Yeah. So the first one, their plans to allow managers to train players.
Yes.
Yes, we don't know what training's not currently implemented with the MFL, but we know it's going to be a feature of the game. Therefore, we don't know how that looks. We just know it will eventually become a feature, right?
Yes, exactly. It's not priority, but it's something they want to add eventually. And the let agents message each other within the app. Well, that's what I just proposed, and I think they also want to do it to be less Discord. I would say dependable, right?
Yeah, less dependent on the closest we can get right now is with the contracts. You can reject or accept a contract with a little note. You can type it in.
Yeah,
that's the closest we've got to directly messaging folks.
I think that's also definitely something they want to do, so you don't have to join Discord.
Good question, though. Good question. Right, the final three, and before we re-roll for the two winners. So, number 12, please.
What can be the new releases next season? Basties52 asks. So next season, let's say 0.6. What could be there as a new feature?
I reckon they dropped 22 on us.
All 22?
Yeah. Ooh. I reckon they do.
It would be great. All 22.
Progression's an interesting one, I think.
I don't think they'll do it yet, because this will mean we need to be ready for 1.0. So not play progression. All 22 is kind of already there. They just need UI, proper UI. So I think it could be a good one. Good guess. Spent some points already.
Yeah,
in the shop.
Some actual purchases.
Yes, also because
in the shop.
Maybe they don't do another drop. Maybe that will increase the supply too much. But maybe if you can spend some points already, that could be more organic growth as there's more demand now. So maybe that's another thing. Let's go with that.
Let's go with that, yeah. 16, please.
16 is from our guest from last week, Necrofrice. He asks, what to do with low comments below 50, he says. Very low. Create a paper leak, burn, fusion like Dragon Ball. Well, I actually, this was in the idea suggestions. I think Matt wrote about this. Did you see that?
The one about he replied to B Seller's message from today.
Yeah, about burning. That there might be some burning function that you can burn players for MFL points and then spend them in the shop. So I guess that is definitely something that's going to be there. And we also talked already about adding more leaks. So I think paper leak or wood leak or whatever, it comes below stone, could also be an option eventually with implement. Yes.
Yeah, my to play devil's advocate, because I like playing it and I like just bringing up things to debate about. I think if they introduce more leagues, they introduce more packs. So I don't think players below 50 realistically ever get utility. I'm going to point out that it might be an unpopular opinion, but if we add more leagues, they probably will mint more players to fill into that as well. That's what my thought is, and because realistically, I don't think we're going to see much utility from less than 50 players. So I think burning is probably going to be the biggest one there.
I think where their utility could be is if we have 3 types of game. You have the professional game, what we are playing. You have the semi-professional game, and the free-to-play game, the amateur. And then in this transition zone, which I would call the semi-professional league, where it's kind of, you could do it free to play, but you can also use NFTs. Those guys will be the superstars there. That's what I think eventually will happen. So that below 50 guy will be a superstar in the kind of free to play semi-professional competition. That's what I think. Final one. We don't have to spin it.
Please.
Yeah, what do you
spin it? I'm spinning it still. I'm
spinning it, okay.
I'm spinning it, but it's 13.
Zero to Hero asks, what do you think is the best formation? The best one. So we had the worst one, and now what does you think the best one?
See, my two favourites right now, one that I didn't used to play a lot with, but I played it the second half of the season in my second club, and it won me the cup, and it's currently just 182, is 4-3-1-2. So 3 midfielders, a cam, and 2 strikers. I've really liked that formation with my Stone club right now. That's really suiting that. And then with my other team, it's 4-3-3 defensive. But I can sometimes change between 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. That's my trio of personal best formations. What about yourself?
Actually, this 4-3-1-2, I'm now playing with the Casablanca Corsairs. I also like it. It's set
Having
up.
good success with it as well.
And I'm also having success with it. But personal from my own point of view about football and what I play with Black Sea, with Cavalieros, with Aaron Call the Navigators, with 3 of my teams, is 4-2-3-1. I think that's just very classic good setup of having those defensive midfielders, that attacking midfielder, those wing, left mid, right mid, and this pure striker who always stays on top, always present in the box to score goals. I think that's my favorite 4-2-3-1, like both in MFL to use and in real life to play.
Nice. So
that's it. All the questions.
That's it. So we're now going to do the double wheel spin for first the uncommon player and then the common player. But before I do that, I just want to say again a massive thank you to all of you who submitted questions, shared, liked, retweeted the tweet for engagement and that sort of stuff. Thank you very much. So let's go ahead. But what I will do is I'll spin it once now. It's spinning. It's big spinning. So the uncommon player will go to number 6. Who's number 6?
Flunking around. At Flunking around.
Flunking around.
So it's not someone we know, like 1, 2, 3. So that's nice. So maybe it's a new user. So you could definitely use this uncommon player. So
flunking around. We'll grab the
uncommon player.
65 rated cam, which is actually quite a nice player to be fair. 72 shooting.
It's a great one.
Nice
Yeah.
So let's hide that, and then this is the winner of your common player you put up for the giveaway. Let's spin this wheel. Spin. Number 2, Vogon, a guest of the podcast at one point. He gave us the Kinder Delish.
Exactly, yeah. So Vogon, congrats. Well, you already have loads of players, so it's not like it's going to help you a lot, but it's nice to have definitely the 64 centre back. And hopefully you can loan this guy to a new user who can really use him well in Stone.
So everyone, if you're listening to this part of the podcast, and you're wondering what the hashtag's going to be, we're going to make it Easter relevant. We're going to go with hashtag Chocobar. And if you're wondering what the hell is Chocobar, obviously chocolate bar related to Easter. There's 2 MFL players in the ecosystem called Hugo and Ezekiel Chocobar. So I think that's very relevant to Easter. But on that note, thank you all to submitted questions. Thank you all for listening. And as always, we'll see you this time next week for an episode of the WenDirk Cast. Thank you for listening.